Victor, log memo. You ever notice how quiet space is when you finally fly alone? Not the cockpit quiet, not the hum of life support or the tick of a cooling manifold. I mean, the kind of quiet that creeps in when there's no one left who remembers who you were before you became what you are. I didn't always fly alone. We trained at the Cassiopeia Naval Academy. Shining towers, parade decks polished so clean you could see your boots trembling in them. They told us that we were the heart of the Federation, and that if the heart beat steady, the whole body lived. Ethan used to mock the speeches. Not cruelly, just that little side grin of his. Heart's just a pump, he'd say. It's the blood that matters. He meant the people. We were just 19 when they handed us uniforms and told us we were the future of interstellar security. I believed them. Ethan didn't need to. He already acted like it was true. He bet me in everything. He shot tighter groupings, scored higher in tactical sims. In zero-G drills, he moved like gravity had personally offended him. Our instructors loved him. The rest of us, we followed him. But he never made you feel smaller. That was the trick with him. First week, orbital damage control training, I froze. Compartment fire simulation. Smoke so thick you couldn't see your own gloves. Alarm screaming in your ears. I knew the procedure. I'd memorized it. PPE, assess, preparation, isolate, secure, and report. But knowing and doing are two different things when your lungs think they're about to melt. He slammed into me, hard enough to knock me against the bulkhead. Move, he said. Not shouted, said. Then he took my wrist and shoved the patch kit into my hand like he was handing me a beer at the bar. Made me seal the rupture myself, and he stabilized the line. Afterwards, the instructors reviewed the recordings. Ethan told them he'd hesitated first. He took the demerit. And that became a pattern. Not big heroics, not dramatic sacrifices, just small, constant corrections in my favor. We both got assigned to the FNS Satanta, a Farragut class, big enough to cast its own horizon. The first time I stood in her main hangar and watched a squadron cycle through launch, I thought I'd just joined something eternal. Ethan just leaned against the rail and said, "Don't worship steel. It won't love you back. It'll probably try to kill you." We saw action sooner than anyone had expected. The Thargoids don't send invitations. One day it's patrol rotation and data logging. The next it's green fire crawling across your canopy and something that does not think like you tearing at your shields. People talk about courage like it's loud. It isn't. It's quiet. It's Ethan reaching past me during a thermal surge and easing the Satanta's auxiliary feed down before I redlined the core. I'd misread the spike. I knew I did. I can still see the numbers climbing. He eased over, corrected it without a word, and filed the error under his name. I told him, "You don't have to keep covering for me." And he shrugged it off. We graduate together, or we don't. That was the thing. In his mind, there was no version of the story where one of us made it and the other didn't. But Delphi changed that. You remember the reports. Contained incursion. Strategic success. That's what the headline said. They never mentioned the smell of scorched insulation, or the way the hull plating screams when it fails. A Thargoid interceptor breached our port shielding. Not a clean hit, more like it peeled us open to see what was inside. Deck 12 had vented before the alarm had even sounded. Ethan was already moving. He always was. We were on our way to suit up and scramble F-63s. I started after him. But that's the part I don't tell right. I was right next to him in the corridor when the secondary blast hit. The lights were white one moment, then flickered amber, and then bled into a pulsing emergency red. Then nothing. Just dust, sparks, and the roar of decompression. Protocol says you seal the bulkhead immediately. You don't argue with the vacuum. I hit the control. I don't remember deciding to. I tell myself he was already past the threshold. I tell myself he would have done the same. I tell myself the ship needed containment or we would have lost more. And that is all probably true. The door shut anyway. Afterward, they said his actions prevented a cascade failure. Damage control succeeded. Reactor stable. Enemy repelled. Now his name sits carved in alloy back in Navy Central. I stood there in dress blacks while an admiral spoke about valor and unity, and the proud tradition of the Federation Navy forged in fire since Annalave. I don't remember the speech. I just remember the silence afterwards. The truth is, I don't know where I fit in anymore. The Federation is still out there. The Navy still stands the line, and kids are still drilling in Etia Cassiopeia, believing in the speeches. Some of them will even meet someone like Ethan. And some of them won't make it home. Whenever my reactor runs hot or my cockpit glass flickers green, I hear him. You breathe, he'd say. I do. That's the problem. I'm still breathing and he's not. And sometimes when a station corridor shifts into emergency lighting or a warning panel pulses the same slow red, I'm back there, dust in the air, the deck trembling, the color washing over his shoulders as he ran. Out here in the dark, between the stars, it's easy to believe the universe doesn't keep count. It just takes and takes until the ledger is ash. But sometimes when I cut throttle and let the ship drift, I wonder if I'm not flying on a borrowed balance, and if every jump I make is one he should have made instead. I won't say it's my fault. I won't say I sealed the door too fast. I won't say I see red light every time a bulkhead warning flashes. I'll just say this. The Federation was built on better men than I ever was, and the best one I ever knew. His name is etched on metal light years behind me. So I keep flying because I don't know what else to do with the space he left behind.